and agencies of government, government parastatals and commissions, artisans, private companies, market men and women, professional civil servants, and other categories of workers. This is your station. Just visit the marketing department of Pensioners 106.7 FM at Barigo Nireke Ibadan, and you will be glad you did. Pensioners FM, the voice of liberation. The voice of liberation.
I'm Pensioners FM 106.7. The time is 3 o'clock. Soya State News and Pensioners 106.7 FM at Barigo Onireke Ibadan. My name is Israel Adijumobi. Governor Sheyi Makinde has forwarded the name of Alhaji Lawal Ayanshiju as Commissioner nominee for the state's Ministry of Public Works, Infrastructure and Transport. Recall that the appointment of the former commissioner in the ministry, Professor Raphael Afonja, was terminated by the governor on the 10th of August 2020. The governor forwarded the name of the new commissioner to the state legislature in this letter sent to the Oyo State House of Assembly, noting that the appointment was to fill the vacuum created in the ministry since the termination of the appointment of Professor Afonja. Oyo State House of Assembly Speaker Right Honorable Adibo Ogunoye, while reading the letter, said the screening of the commissioner designate would be done before the House proceeds on recess, and directed the commissioner nominee to appear before the legislature on the 14th of December for screening. Governor Sheyi Makinde says his government will fight hunger in the state to reduce anger that is bottled up in the people. Governor Makinde has flagged off the 2020 Press Week of Nigerian Union of Journalists, Oyo State Council. The governor, who was also installed as the grand patron of the council, said nobody is safe if Nigeria continues to journey its current path. Dr. Oludari Akonde and Chief Dotun Sanusi were honored alongside the governor as patrons of the council, while Senator Kola Balogun was awarded the most media-friendly senator. Present at the event were various dignitaries, including the Alafin of Oyo, Obalamidi Adeyemi III. Governor Sheyi Makinde says, in spite of insinuations, both Oyo and Osun State put the interests of the student of the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology LAUTECH over politics and ego in resolving the ownership crisis of the institution. Governor Makinde stated these are the thank you visit to Osun State Governor Boyega Oyintola. Governor Makinde noted that both states desire to get the institution back to fulfill its mandate in order to train graduates whose impact will be felt in the region and country at large.
What we've both done is to put the interest of our children that are students of that university over and above politics, partisanship, and ego. So for us, we're all winners. So both Osun and Oyo State students in there will continue to have the privilege of the owner state.
In a response, Osun State Governor Boyega Oyintola said that Osun counts on Oyo's prompt, faithful implementation of all the clauses enshrined in the Memorandum of Understanding which both states signed. Meanwhile, Oyo State Governor Sheyi Makinde has been lauded for the effort of his administration that led to the ownership of Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogumosho, to be vested in Oyo's commendation for the effort his administration is making to transform Oyo State. The president of the union, Dr. Olusegun Ajuwon, expressed delight at the success seen. The Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Dino Odeyemi, has warned that if Governor Sheyi Makinde allows the bitterness and crisis in the southwest chapter of the party to fester, the impact may be too enormous for him to bear. Odeyemi gave this warning in Ibadan while admitting that there is crisis in the southwest chapter of the PDP. The journalist turned politician insisted that the position of the aggrieved members of the party in the zone was in the interest of the party, urging Governor Makinde to do the needful. Oyo State House of Assembly Committee on Inter-Parliamentary Relations lawmakers led by Honorable Olamide Akinyajo visited the National Assembly, Abuja, on a week-long working peer learning visit. The lawmakers met with the clerk to the National Assembly, Architect Amos Olatunde. Olatunde, during the official welcoming and introduction, urged lawmakers to legislate to protect the peasant people and discuss how state assembly can be financially autonomous. A member of Oyo State House of Assembly, Honorable Olufemi Fawakami, has called on the Governor, Sheyi Makinde, to intervene in the activities of the agency responsible for adult and non-formal education agency for adult and non-formal education that has been neglected for the past 9 years in the state. The lawmaker representing Ibadan's Southwest State Constituency 2 called on the governor to direct all local government and local council development areas to comply with the release of 5% of the allocation to the agency to boost adult and formal education in the state. This was contained in a motion presented by the lawmaker during the plenary, where he dropped out of formal education system. On the 1st of December each year, the world commemorates World AIDS Day. This day was the first ever International Day for Global Health. And the special report, our correspondent Yetunde Oke examines the significance of the day.
Every year, United Nations agencies, governments, and civil society organizations come together to campaign around specific themes related to HIV. People around the world unite to show support for people living with HIV and to remember those who have died from AIDS-related illnesses. Each World AIDS Day focuses on specific theme, and this year's theme is Ending the HIV/AIDS Epidemic, Resilience and Impact. This theme is also a reminder that people can achieve a thing if they can make a joint effort to deliver high-quality services for treatment and prevention of HIV. A medical doctor who is also a health technology expert, Temidayo Akinwumi, speaks on World AIDS Day and what this year's themes represent.
That's a day that brings together people from all over the world to raise awareness about this scourge that is common, that we are all aware about. That's HIV/AIDS. This is one day set aside that everyone should advocate or talk about or bring more awareness to the problem that's HIV/AIDS. This year's theme is more or less telling us and not to be weary fighting against this scourge that we all know.
The Joint United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS Executive Director Winnie Biyayima has a message on World AIDS Day 2020.
World AIDS Day 2020 will be like no other. COVID-19 is threatening the progress the world has made in health and development over the past 20 years, including the gains we have made against HIV. But I am proud that over the past year, the HIV movement has more people living with HIV and other vulnerable groups.
As of their level of awareness about the HIV/AIDS, here is the view of Nigerians.
There has been a drastic reduction with such an awareness these days compared to when it was started. I believe that the way it is being handled these days, people have believed that AIDS is something that anyone can live with and can still live for a long period of time. But so much can be done to prevent it.
Yes, we all know AIDS is one of the major diseases in the country right now. And the funny thing is, most people are still not concerned about it. People are just going on with their lives without paying attention to all these things. What I would say to such people is they should try to get to places where they can get information. Another thing is, when you know someone has AIDS, you have to be caring to the person.
Dr. Akinwumi has this advice for HIV/AIDS patients and the entire public.
I see them as the heroes and the survivors in this whole battle against HIV/AIDS. For them, I say, don't stop advocating, don't stop fighting for your life. Yes, don't stop seeing your doctors, don't stop being compliant with your medications. To every person, I would say, don't stop advocating, don't stop talking about AIDS, don't stop taking preventive measures. HIV/AIDS is there.
On what Oyo State is doing to mark this day, Oyo State Agency for the Control of AIDS said it is targeting no fewer than 10,000 people for HIV screening throughout the state. The agency said the screening is targeted at the key drivers of the epidemic: female sex workers, men who sleep with men, people who inject drugs, and transgender, in order to curb the spread of the virus amongst the group as well as the general public. As the world marks the World AIDS Day, people and the government are reminded that HIV has not gone away. There is still a critical need for increased funding for the AIDS response, to increase awareness of the impact of HIV on people's lives, to end stigma and discrimination, and to improve the quality of life of people living with HIV. Yetunde Oke for Pensioners FM.
Pensioners FM annual Federal Christmas show is kicked off today. A release by the organizing committee says gifts will be distributed to the children that will be visiting the grotto between the hours of 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. weekdays and between 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. at weekends for 1,000 naira. The statement also says adequate preparations have been put in place to ensure COVID-19 compliance. It says that the mobile Santa Claus with his friends will also be on ground to visit 80 members. Mrs. Folake Odeyemi throws more light on the level of preparedness.
Pensioners for the Christmas show begins tomorrow by God's grace. Tomorrow, Tuesday, 1st of December 2020. So what? Yes, the committee has really planned for the gift to be distributed for the children. At least valuable gifts and a lot of fun. Adequate preparations have been put in place to ensure COVID-19 compliance.
The Pensioners FM Farah's Christmas show ends on the 24th of December. Transitional Arrangement Directorate (PTAD) has informed its pensioners that there has been a technical anomaly in the payment of November pension to civil service pensioners. In a statement, PTAD says its system short-paid some pensioners while others were overpaid. PTAD assured all the affected pensioners that they will be paid any shortfall as a result of the glitch immediately, while overpayment will also be recovered in due course. It regretted any inconveniences the situation has caused affected pensioners. Recall that the Nigerian Union of Pensioners had earlier raised alarm that some pensioners under PTAD were shortchanged while others were overpaid. As public secondary schools in Oyo State get ready to accommodate recruited teachers, principals have been urged to look out for job racketeering syndicate. Chairman Post Primary School Teaching Service Commission TESCOM Oyo State, Pastor Akiade Alamu, raised the alarm in an interview with Pensioners FM correspondent Ibiwu Mishala shortly after meeting members of the All Nigerian Confederation of Principals of Secondary School and Corps Oyo State chapter in Ibadan.
We address them on the way they should expend the school grant to all schools. The governor has always been graciously approving grants to schools. As for the recruitment, we observe that in the past there used to be some kind of, with the letter of appointment, they should verify and authenticate the letters of such appointees before placing them on the payroll of the school.
All executives of ANCOP and board members of TESCOM were present in the parley. As part of effort to achieve an all-inclusive local government elections, the Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission (OISEC) has taken the ongoing trust and confidence-building campaign of the Commission to the African Church Cathedral of Ebenezer, Ibadan Diocese. The visit, according to the Commission, was aimed at ensuring large turnout of the eligible voters in the forthcoming council elections. The Commission's chairman, Isiaka Olagunju, while receiving an award of honor as Electoral Umpire of the Year at the church, hinted that a timetable for the polls will be released soon. Are Olagunju urged those yet to collect the voters' card to take advantage of upcoming voters' registration exercise by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to get their cards in order to exercise their civil rights. Motorists flying Eleyele Ologweru Road, Ibadan, have called on the relevant authorities in charge of works and transport to urgently rescue them from incessant accidents and breakdown of trucks on the road. An eyewitness to yesterday's accident at the bridge on Eleyele Ologweru Road, which led to traffic grid, Debbie, in an interview with Pensioners FM correspondent Ibiwu Mishala, said government should come to their aid.
The road is not good. It's very, very, very bad. I don't know, maybe they can help us and work on it and do something about it. So I appeal to government. They should help us do something about it and they should figure it out. They should help us.
Accident happened this morning at the Agbarigo roundabout in Ibadan, involving a rent on the car and a commercial motorcyclist from the northern part of the country. Although no death was recorded, the bike was badly damaged while the rider escaped unearthed. However, some colleagues of the motorcyclist rounded the car for about an hour, causing a slight traffic on the roundabout. It took the intervention of policemen on the scene to resolve the matter after the driver was made to pay a token to the motorcyclist. The driver of the car narrated the incident and expressed frustration with the conduct of the commercial motorcyclists.
I was coming from South. Just watch those vehicles the way they were coming. I was on the other side and I trafficated. I want to come like this. As I I was driving. I was trying to negotiate. I trafficated to this place. I just saw all of a sudden. I just saw that bike crossing me, want to go this way. It was so sudden, and I was even shocked. I didn't even know what to do. This is becoming too much, honestly. Any little thing, they will just gang up against you.
Our correspondent, Pius Nsabe, was at the scene of the accident, also spoke with the special advisor to Governor Seyi Makinde on security, Mr. Fatai Owosheni, who happened to be driving by and had to stop to intervene. Owosheni said the government had been sensitizing motorists against activities that can cause accidents or breach of security in the state.
No, that is why we are talking to them, so that there won't be any acts of lawlessness. And they've agreed, they are going now, so there's no. We've been educating them, they've been educated all the time.
Some onlookers appeal to the relevant agencies to caution motorists to be more careful on roads. Meanwhile, the immediate past Vice Chancellor of the University of Ibadan, Professor Idowu Olayinka, has assessed his 5-year tenure with a sense of fulfillment, saying he was happy that he was leaving the university better than he met it. This in spite of some union members of the university celebrating his exit on the controversies surrounding the appointment of his successor, which has culminated in a directive by the federal government to the Senate of the university to appoint an acting Vice Chancellor. Professor Olayinka declared that he had no grudges against anybody and insisted that the posterity will judge everyone for the role played. That ends Oyo State News and Pensioners 106.7 FM at Barigo Nirike Ibadan. For any information, contact us on this mobile number 0812-008-6270 or 0812-188-9462. To download our app on Google Play Store, search for Pensioners FM. You can also visit us at Oyo State's Pensioners House at Barigo Nirike Ibadan. News editor is Olarin Sayo Oweye. Oluwayomi Additional led the production crew. My name is Israel Adejimobi. Thanks for listening.
káàsán o níbi gbogbo tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ ìkànnì Pensioners FM 106.7 tó kalẹ̀ sí Àgbárígò Onírèké nílùú Ìbàdàn. Ìròyìn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ la mú wá fún yín. Ọmọwùmí Ayọ̀adé lóníròyìn. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ Ṣèyí Mákindé ti fi orúkọ Alhaji Lawal Àyànsíjú ṣọwọ́ sí ilé aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tí wọ́n fà kalẹ̀ fún ipò alákòóso tó wà fún iṣẹ́ òde, ohun amáyédẹrùn àti ìgbòkègbodò ọkọ̀. Gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ti sọ pé ìjọba òun ò ṣẹ́gun ebi ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí láti lè mú àdínkù bá ìbínú àwọn aráàlú. Igbákejì akọ̀wé ìpolongo fún ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú People's Democratic Party PDP ti laago ìkìlọ̀ fún gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé pé bí ó bá tẹ̀síwájú láti mú kí ìrúkèrúdò tó ń bẹ nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP ní apá ìwọ̀ oòrùn gúúsù máa tẹ̀síwájú, agbára rẹ̀ kò ní ká. Ìjọba gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ni wọ́n ti gbóṣùbà káre fún bí ilé ìwé gíga fásitì ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ Ládòkè Akíntọ́lá àti ìlú Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ ṣe di ti ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ti ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àti Ọ̀ṣun ni wọn ò jẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú lórí àtiparí aáwọ̀ tó ń wáyé lórí ta ni yóò ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga LAUTECH borí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Aṣòfin Ọlámídé láti ṣe àbújá. Ọ̀kan lára ọmọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́, Ọ̀nàrẹ́bù Olúfẹ́mi Fọwọ́kànmí ti ké sí gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé láti dá sí iṣẹ́ àjọ tó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn àgbàlagbà àti ẹ̀kọ́ àgbà èyí tí wọ́n ti patì láti bí ọdún 9 sẹ́yìn nípìnlẹ̀ yìí. Bàbá Kérésì iléeṣẹ́ rédíò Pensioners FM ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti máa gbàlejò àwọn ọmọdé lónìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí àtẹ̀jáde tó wá láti ọ̀dọ̀ ìgbìmọ̀ ìpalẹ̀mọ́ Bàbá Kérésì. Àwọn ẹ̀bùn ni yóò jẹ́ pínpín fún àwọn ọmọdé tó bá san ₹1,000 láti wá wo bàbá kérésì láàrin ọ̀sẹ̀ láti aago 9 òwúrọ̀ sí aago 6 ìrọ̀lẹ́ àti láti aago 12 ọ̀sán sí aago 5 ìrọ̀lẹ́ ní ọjọ́ ìsinmi. Àwọn awakọ̀ tó ń rin òpópónà ẹlẹ́yẹlé sí ológun ẹrú ti pe àjọ tọ́rọ̀ iṣẹ́ àti ìgbòkègbodò ọkọ̀ kàn láti tètè bá wọn dẹ́kun ìjàmbá ọkọ̀ gbogboògbà àti bí àwọn ọkọ̀ ńlá ṣe ń takú sójú òpópónà náà. Ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìjàmbá ọkọ̀ kan ló wáyé láàárọ̀ òní ní ìkóríta olóbìrípo àgbárígò nílùú Ìbàdàn láàrin ọkọ̀ Honda aláwọ̀ pupa àti kẹ̀kẹ́ alùpùpù kan tó ń bọ̀ láti apá àríwá orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé a ò gbọ́ ikú ẹnì kankan, ṣùgbọ́n kẹ̀kẹ́ alùpùpù náà bàjẹ́ gidigidi tí awakọ̀ rẹ̀ kò sì farapa. Kò ní jù báyìí lọ lórí ìròyìn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ fún tọ̀sán òní. Olóòtú ìròyìn ni Ọlárìnsáyọ̀ Owóẹ̀yẹ pẹ̀lú ìrànlọ́wọ́ Olúwayọ̀mí Adésínà. Ọmọ́wùmí Ayọ̀adé ló ti ń ròyìn. Ẹ ṣé tẹ́ ń gbọ́ wa.